Hey folks, welcome to our latest episode of Clam from the Stands. Good to see you boys. Mid-January now. We are back. We're not quite at full strength. We'll come to that in a second. Actually, there's some news there. Yes, how are you? How are you both? Both looking quite fresh faced today. You're listen. I mean, there's a lot of noise on Twitter. We obviously put it out there as usual, and yeah, I don't know how long this episode's going to be, but there's a lot to talk about, boys. How
Definitely.
are we feeling? How are we doing?
Let's just say I've got a do not disturb sign on the outside of that door.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying at this particular moment, mate. So
I've got stats written all over a bit of paper.
I love that Stato. There you go. You can
I'm
see what we
going Colin. I'm going full blown Colin tonight as
as,
well.
as you can see here at Clam from the Stands. We don't buy into this AI hype here. The boys don't. Yeah, I might, but they don't. They go.
No get a notepad between us, by the way. It's just a
I know.
Just an
Alexis
envelope.
paper that she
Aye,
paints
I
and
love it.
draws on.
Listen, that's you're yeah the envelope. You're just recycling, Colin. That's all. But yes, look, a couple of things before we kick in today. Again, feel we should mention there was yeah some really sad news in the league. I think the Belfast Giants posted up on Twitter that yeah young Blake McCoy sadly passed away. I think well known around the league. So obviously just wanted to acknowledge that and just puts a lot of things into perspective. As upset as we get about a lot of the sports stuff, things like that do put it in perspective. So obviously thoughts with the family and then obviously all Giants fans as well. Yeah, a bit of sad news there, boys.
No,
Yeah.
well,
But yes, so that's one bit of news. The other bit of news, we are not at full strength tonight. We are three, and this will be full strength from now on. So we actually are at full strength. So Chris has taken the decision. He's as we know, we did. I think this is what happens when you move through to Fife, right? It's going to get you at some point. But in all seriousness, I think he's got a lot of things there. You go, yeah, let's not do that, Colin. That was a, but yeah. So Chris has decided just to take a step back from the cast. Obviously, still he'll be watching the games at the games, but yes, he's going to take he's taking a bit of a hiatus, a break. I think for the foreseeable, if not for good. I think maybe just other things in life take over sometimes, boys. Right? Um,
podcasting's a young man's game, mate. Anyway, he was
that's what it
12.
is. Yeah, that's it. So we don't have we don't have
Leave it up to the
the
young
spy.
builds.
Yeah, so we don't have the spy in the camp anymore, but we will crack on and do our very best. So speaking of doing our very best, we're going to get into it tonight. Look, again, I do feel this is maybe a little bit similar to the last episode we had, where I feel it would be remiss of me if I didn't mention, some of the good things. There was a phenomenal. I mean, I don't know, maybe the performance of the season against the Steelers. I don't know if you think that's me. Maybe again recency bias on that, but certainly one of the best performances of the season with a really good 5-3 win against Sheffield. Actually went to Cardiff and should have beat Cardiff, to be blunt. I thought we were the better team. Um, like really, I mean, Bill, you were, I know you were very spiced about that game, about how unfortunate we really had Cardiff in the ropes. But again, we'll come to it. Guess what? We didn't get a single goal in that game. We lost
Yeah.
that game 1-0. Um, so let's start with those two shoots I mean, they're probably the two that you look at of the games since we've spoken, and we'll come to the rest. We can't cover all of them, but we'll just talk thematically. The theme is generally hasn't been great. So how do you reflect on those two games, Phil, which were really close together? We were still relatively short bench, like so we weren't we didn't have everyone
Yeah.
back. Um, is it a bit of is it a head scratcher, like in terms of those performances in amongst what else we've seen? Like what did you make of those two games, particularly that were really positive performances from the clan?
Um, this is the problem when we've had four games. Like, just try to remember. So I definitely watched both of those games.
Yep.
Both away, weren't they? No,
No, home,
Sheffield
Sheffield.
at home, and then
Sheffield home, and then we
Cardiff
went to
away.
Cardiff. So it was honestly, mate, you're going,
Yeah.
yeah, it
The,
was,
the
Friday and a Sunday, so we had a day's
aye,
rest
there
in
was
between.
space between them, wasn't there?
yeah, so really tight turnaround.
Yeah. Just like I said, I remember I was very vocal on the chat to use like
Yeah,
after the Cardiff game. We were sensational like against Sheffield, and I'm pretty sure I had said, like, obviously I never done the cast before that, but I'd done the one before I was on holiday, and I was like, God, I can see us winning, like getting like 2 points out of these games coming up. Uh, but anyway, we got the points in Sheffield, and then that Cardiff game, mate. It was that Guildford game all over again for me. Down in Guildford, remember the one we absolutely hammered them all over the ice. But aye, we just couldn't. It was Cardiff, yeah, Cardiff.
Yeah,
Aye,
it's
I just don't want to get mixed up here because all these defeats all roll into one.
So it was a young man's game, and you're going a memory like an old guy. You know what I mean, is it Tuesday? Is it Monday? What day is
Aye.
it?
But I got that Cardiff game on, and you, you can't blame the guys on that one. I know you need to score and all that stuff, right? But there was no stone left unturned. We threw everything at them. Like they seeing the last 30 minutes of that. Actually, I just remembered there. I had a bit of a ding dong with a Cardiff fan online. I don't think I told you about
no.
it. I went and put on the clan page. I went and wrote fair play to the boys tonight. Like absolutely battled, and we should have got something out that game. Cardiff got away with one there, and then some Cardiff fan piped up, and he was trying to give me it, and I was just I think I mentioned that we had a few guys out, and he's like, "Oh, we had guys out as well," and I was like, "Well, I says we had seven out, I think it was in total, six out in that game. Sure, that was a game we
It
had
was
six out."
six.
That was a lot.
And he's like, I bet how many key players? And I was like, well, our captain, our goalie, and somebody else. How many key guys? He said. And I said, I went and rhymed day three off, and I says, I would pretty much say they were key guys, considering they're on the top two lines, plus we're starting 80. And then the guy just never get back to me. But anyway, back to the game. The last 30 minutes of that, Cardiff were just hanging on. Like they get the better as the first 30 minutes, but we absolutely just pounded their goal and we just couldn't get the breakthrough. And it was another night when I just felt so sorry for the team because they deserved to get something out of that. But them's the breaks when you're just not putting the puck in the net. If you get a goal every time you put it in the logo, we'd be top of the league. Do you know what I mean? But we just can't seem to score. So that was
Yeah.
my thoughts on that.
Okay, Colin, what do you make of those two games again?
I mean, Steelers game at the time, I enjoyed it when we beat them, but actually, was it when you look at it, Steelers have won 3 and 10, so they get beat off us, they get beat off Fife. Yeah, they beat Dundee, but they've they've been terrible of late. So was it just the fact that we caught a poorly performing Steelers side and it made it look like a good game? Maybe I'm just being too critical. The Cardiff game, we weren't missing as many. Like so, I mean, Sidorov played, Roy played. We were missing Buck and a few others. But again, to go down there, Cardiff's a tough place to go. They're a tough physical team. They're,
Backup goalie as well. Like that,
yeah.
that to me is the
So
biggest thing. That a road game when
yeah,
your backup goalie like that again that has been heavily criticised. That like
he
by
did play
some.
well. Like he played
Yeah.
well in that game. So, but again, it goes back to the kind of old story that we're not scoring goals. So if if you look at it, the Steelers game, like I said, seemed amazing. And when you look at it, yeah, we did play well. But did we play well because they were just really poor? Like as in, if you look at every other team, was it Fife took 6 or 7 off them the following night? So I'm I'm not really buying the so much the Steelers thing. The Cardiff performance, I'll give you that. Like they did try, but again, trying's not good enough in this league. You need to have the edge and the skill set, and goals win games. And we're now, as of today, we're the second lowest scoring team by 2 goals, right? And Dundee have 2 games in hand. So if Dundee score a goal in each of those games, we're tied, right? So we've scored 68 goals. Now, I'm going to go on a bit of a rant here, right? So as a
Love
team,
it. I love it. I've asked Colin about the positive, and he just goes there. Right, it's fine. You go, mate.
can't,
You
I
go.
can't like. Well,
Let's
the thing
go.
is,
Let's go.
I've kind of held back for ages,
Want to
right?
hold us back for
So
the negatives
I
later
know.
on? No.
I know. I
Well,
was like,
no,
wow.
no, because I don't really see a positive at the moment. And the problem is we're the lowest power play in the league, right? The percentage, we're 13.1%. Now, that's a coaching issue. Plain and simple, you need to change that to increase it. We I mean, Fife have 21.25 and Dundee have 23%, and they're both below us. That's embarrassing, right? So power play, crap.
Oh,
We
see if those goals we've scored. Do you know how many have been scored by forwards versus D-men?
No, but I can find that out. I didn't
Yeah,
go into
find
that,
that out
but
if you can. That would be interesting as well. I would like to know the percentage there of like, yeah. Sorry. Anyway,
I'll
keep going.
finish with a positive. So basically, since the 19th of October, we've won 12 games in the league, right? Nine of those were against Dundee and Fife. One was against Coventry, one was against Cardiff, and one was against Sheffield, which was recently. And Sheffield have won 3 and 10 since Christmas. Now, if you go in the last 20 games, if we go off form, we would be ninth in the league on 16 points. Fife would be above us on 17, and Dundee would be below us. But since the 19th of December, we've scored 27 goals in 12 games, but 13 of those goals were against Fife and Dundee in the 4 games leading over Christmas. So 13 out of the 27 were scored against Fife and Dundee, and we've conceded 34 since the 19th of December. And 7 of those was against Fife and Dundee. We've conceded 24 in 8 games off everybody else. So when you look at that statistically in any way, shape, or form, there is no numbers that are positive for us, none whatsoever. Now, I will give one positive on the top end. The goaltender in Sammy is 91.89%, and he's the top six in the league. And I'm not including the backup in
Yeah.
Sheffield. So he's the top six. We have not one player at a point per game, not one. Langen's 23 and 30. We are conceding 3 goals, 3.07 against and 2.274. There is zero positives to take in any numerical aspect of what we are doing right now, except the goaltending.
Wow.
So,
See, just quickly, Langen for the season, not in the league. He's a point a game for the season, bringing the cup
but
games
that's
in.
including the cup. I'm
Yeah,
only looking at league form here now.
yeah, yeah.
So in the league format, that's where we sat. We don't have MD over a point a game.
Not
And
good, is it? Not good. Well, look,
when you
do you know what I would say? You see the thing about the Cardiff game, and Phil, I know that I think you and I were like both quite, trying to think of the word, like,
Boyd.
yeah, but almost, yeah. I think I was gonna say encouraged, right?
Yeah.
And what struck me is though after that, and I think this is what you're going. I think it is as a Clan fan right now. It's really difficult to sort of push through and be positive, and we're all hoping and praying that we have a magical turnaround and that we've now got a healthy roster and things are going to start coming good. The last 2 games we'll have to talk about against teams right, and it like have really taken the wind out of the sails, right? Because you can live with that game in Cardiff, a road game, backup goalie. We played so well, coming up, getting those points against Sheffield. Yes, they weren't in great form, but you can only beat who's in front of you. But the Cardiff games, what it struck me, Phil, is it's the only game where I go, you see, if that was the level of performance week in week out, I would probably be somewhat more okay with Corey's post-match stuff, where it's kind of like, oh yeah, like what you're seeing is what I'm seeing. Because actually in that game, I don't think that was an issue of that is a game where you go, it felt like we did do almost everything humanly possible, and
Yeah.
sometimes the hockey gods have different ideas, and sometimes you got to say, do you know what? Like it's a greasy road game. It is what it is, right? We really played, and I think you look at the performance level and go, the performance level was exactly what you would want to see and expect. And to me, if that was every week in, week out, we would be in a much better position. The problem I have is that when we go, maybe we had the game against the Blaze and the Storm, right? In these games, I'm going, and I think Corey finally kind of acknowledged that, again, well, it feels like he acknowledges the elephants in the room like 5 weeks after we talk about it, right? It's like this delayed reaction to mentioning the power play. And now it's like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock, like we're not scoring goals. And it's like, and we've got to figure out, so why haven't we, like, this has been a problem for so long. It should have been figured out. It's not we need to figure it out.
Second
Like
season though.
it's not a new problem. That's my point. This is an
Yeah,
existing problem where, and that's why I'd like to know the split of the defensive goals and the forward goals because I'm like, big man, look, like this comes down to like this is not guys deliberately going, I'm going to try and shoot it straight in the goalie's chest, right? That's not what's happening here, right?
yeah, but
But I do feel we are a team that like and maybe I'm wrong, right? And you, please like give me your opinion. I do feel there's an element of like the team identity. It's kind of like they are coached to just like shoot like a lot. Like I feel like we're just coached like get shot, and it's like because you can go, oh, we outshot. We're mentioning look the stats never or rarely tell the
there's
whole
high
picture of the
percentage
game.
shots and there's shots. You know what I mean? I
It's not
could
that, Colin. They don't even like stats don't even tell it. Oh, we outshot them. It's like we're getting pucks on net. It's like yeah, if you want to rely on luck, sure, that's a good strategy. But it's like you and I believe Phil, we have guys that I don't think our guys can be that. Look at their resumes are that shite. Like I just don't think it's true, right? So like I don't know what you think, Phil, but you mean that Cardiff game was like I could go okay, cool, I could hang my hat on that performance. We do that, we're going to get goals. But then you look at the other performances, you go that that's an anomaly performance. That's not the consistent performance.
Yeah. See, just on the shots, right? You're talking about we just we're not particularly placing it anywhere. We're just getting it on net, right?
Yes.
Now, I'll give you an example, right? See that Coventry game? I don't know if you've watched the highlights. Tedesco took a shot. See the one we get Roy get the rebound from,
Yeah.
right? Tedesco wasn't trying to score with that, right? This is where he's using a wee bit of savvy. He's putting it on net, and it's hard enough that he knows the keeper's going to spill it because it's on the deck. Do you know what I mean? He's not going to glove it, so he needs to bounce it out. And if you watch that goal back, he puts it on net intelligently. It bounces out, and Roy's there, and he puts it in. We or what I feel and what everybody's actually saying in the comments about tonight when we said we we're recording, everything is into the logo, where it's a soft
yeah.
landing on the keeper, or else it's at glove height. He's just, do you know what I mean, doing that left or right. It's no bother. What These shots are a complete waste of time. At least if you're going to just get it on net, drill it into his legs, and then at least you've got a chance of a rebound. If there's no corner to be found on the near post, if we're coming in for like the wide areas, like drill it. That's what I'm saying. Drill it into his legs. Don't just put it in the middle and hope it bounces out. Because like Colin had just said there, six of the keepers are over 90%. Or
Mm,
Corey even said it actually in his interview. These guys aren't going to spill much out to you. It's not the way it
no.
used to be. Do you know what I mean? There's like it's
This
just
isn't the first season, mate. You know what I mean? Like it's like this first sign of madness. Like continue to do the same things and expecting a different result. Now, granted, yes, we're defensively better, but we've got the same problem that we had last year. And last year we had a goal scorer in Uli. Now, the problem we have now is we don't have that. We've got Langan who's doing a bit of a job, but when you actually look at it in the grand scheme of it, we should have went out and got a couple of guys like that because basically we've got these problems. But to answer your question, Ross, about defenders, 28% of our goals have been scored by defenders. 19 of 68 goals have been scored by defenders.
Yeah, it's a fair
you,
chunk.
you, you need to remember as well with that, right? There's three forwards and two defenders on ice. That time it's not like it's 3-3 or whatever. So
And also,
that
Phil,
probably bumps that up to like
Phil,
40%.
Phil, we've also had McKay and Pullman out for sustained periods.
Yeah.
Saigo was out for a bit. Like you kind of go like in terms of like the top guys, like Fram's probably the
He's
one that's
only in
staying
league,
healthy.
by the way. This isn't in the cup
Yeah, no,
part
no, no, which
before
is fine. But
anybody
you know,
corrects
you
me.
kind of go like I don't know. I just think look, do you know what I don't like though? Again, that like I don't know. Somebody's got to talk to Corey about the post match. Like you can't keep like the Coventry are a well coached team. Great, Corey. I want to
Yeah.
know why we're not a well coached team, right? It's like why do they have a go like we've got a good goalie, right? I don't hear every manager that comes up against the Glasgow Clan when Sammy's in
Goalie.
goal going, Sammy's like I don't hear him say that because guess what? It's your point, Phil. It's like we've got to solve these problems, right?
Yeah.
And you're right. What we don't do is like you see. I think that the two hardest positions to play in professional sports is quarterback in the NFL and goaltender than in ice hockey, right? So in American football, because it's like it's an isolated role, the pressure is real, and you know what you're doing. Like people talk about this, like goalies, like it's mental. You're trying to mentally fatigue them, right? That's what you're trying to. If you want to solve for a good goalie, you want
Yeah.
to mentally fatigue them. The way you don't do that, like you say, Phil, is if everything's there and I can just glove it or I can and it sticks to me. Like you're not mentally really fatiguing me there. You're not giving me problems. Whereas if you're giving me things that are causing me problems where I've got to think about, because what you've got to think about is rebound control. I can't get this. How do I get it away from danger? That's a lot more mentally taxing, right? Okay, you
Who's
want
coming
to
Ross,
in at
Ross,
me? Who's
Ross,
driving the
what we're
net?
doing, what we're actually doing with there is building the keeper's confidence.
correct, correct. They just get into a rhythm.
Building
They
his
go,
confidence.
yeah,
It's
and it's like
fucking,
and I think it's take like you. I know you Colin, you talk about big, but I don't care at the body. Like taking away the goalies. That look, if we're not, look, there are different ways to score goals in ice hockey, right? If we don't have those natural snipers, I don't even know that that's true. I don't think Cody likes those players. I think the fact that Uli's not there, I think the fact that Hayden's not there, tells you he has a bias for maybe a different type of player. I wouldn't mind if we were like, we're going to take the goalie's eyes away. To your point, Phil, we're going to put
yeah,
pucks on net, but with a purpose, right? The purpose
yeah,
behind it is to get the rebounds. I do feel like that's kind of the plan. But again, to your point, Colin, it's just poorly coached and poorly executed. And I go back to the same thing, right? This all comes down to practice, right? And I think there's an open practice. I would love to go and see it. Is I would place a bet and go the intensity in in your training and your practice transmits to the game. You go look at the best teams league, the intensity of their practices will be absolutely top notch, right?
yeah,
And I wonder if there's a lack of that with us because I don't see that. Like that Cardiff game, like, and we have to be fair. If you think back, like, there have been maybe a handful of games where you go, oh, it's kind of showed that, and we have got excited early in the season about this team and going, maybe this team could do something, right? But yet, guess what? Where are we now? We're languishing now. What in seventh place, right?
Eighth in
What's that?
points. We're joint eighth in points.
Yeah, joint eight. So we're right down there now. And obviously, look, thank goodness that Fife and Dundee are so crap, right? And it is a bit embarrassing. I know Fife are putting something together now, but again, the gulf looks too big. But instead of looking now, actually looking, going, we might be Manchester might be getting away from us in terms of that spot for the better seeding might be out of our reach soon if we don't turn things around. And then you're kind of like Guildford and Coventry, and our coach is giving these teams they're great. They're coached really well. They're a great team. They've got a great goalie. I'm kind of
It's
like,
like a nervous thing.
I don't
I
want to
think
hear that.
every
I don't want to hear that. I want to hear like, do you know what? 5-1 against the Storm. It's not accept like the small rink and Pullman's telling him that saying, oh, yeah, it's like your guys aren't where they usually are. Like, I'm like, guys, it's
yeah.
again,
professional hockey player.
it wasn't like you got to the ring. They went, surprise, we've changed dimensions. Like, it's a small rink, right? Okay, it's a small rink, so you can't just zip the passes to the same area because there's less ice. Like,
Yeah.
are we stupid guys, right? And Cody said we did practice prepare. We didn't do a good enough job, did you? You didn't do a good enough job because we got our pants
Buying that
pulled
though.
down. We got
Could
our
you
pants pulled
imagine?
down.
Could you imagine that, Ross? Like you go and people go, "Oh, we went to Hampden and it's slightly wider than other football pitches,
We've
so
got to
we can't
Celtic
do that."
Park.
And you're like,
Imagine, Partick, I've got to Celtic Park, or, like a lower league team, Auckland Talbot. Oh, why we went to Robbie Park. The pitch, they narrow the pitch. But guess what? And also, do you know what? It's not like the rink is half the size, boys, right? It's
"What?
not
Play
half.
hockey."
And do you know what it means? Guess what? To me, you talk about preparing. Look, and this is where I think two things that I want to bring up. One is it's really simple, right? I played in tight pitches, right? You go, I'm not going to have the same amount of time in the ball. There's not as much space, or not going to have as much time on the puck. So you know that,
Yeah.
right? So the other thing is that I do think this comes to his like they are overcoached, and I do remember talking to who do we was it? I don't know, was it Peaks or was it John Dunbar? One of the guys down at Solway at the time. I said we kind of asked him like, what's the difference? Like, and he's like, down here at Solid, it's run and gun. There's no real structure. He said,
Yeah.
see in the elite league, he said there is a lot more like you kind of know where guys. So, but I wonder like, is this is like over like Cody? If you're going to a small rink, the way that these guys know it, you're going to have to advance it, guys. We can't do that in this rink because you're going to be off on your passes and it's just not going to work. But
Yeah.
it's like it surprised us, and the fact that Pullman said that, he's like, I'm like Jesus Christ, like
Yeah.
in a game against Manchester, that's such a big game. If I want my coach coming out like spitting chocolates and going, this is like it's not good enough. Like we cannot. Oh, it just drives me
He
insane.
micromanages it. See, when you actually hear him talk, he sounds like a bit of a micromanager. Like he's like, oh, well, the details in this. And he keeps doing the same things over and over. Like I said, it's like the team structure defensively, yes, has got better. But going forward is no better than we were last year. And last year we had a bit of a sniper in the ranks with Uli. So when he's sitting saying things like, I don't know about you, Ross, right? But see if you had someone working for you, right? We all work in the professional world. If you had people working and their performance was that low on something, you would speak to them and figure out how to make it better or help them, right?
I understand it, but Colin, what's going on with you, big? Like what's going on with you? I
I
understand where you're at, right? And go like, okay, if you're one of these forwards, clearly they're not going to be feeling great. That's part of the coach's job. But the other thing, Colin, I want to
yeah,
ask you in that interview, I think it was the Coventry game. Again, Coventry well coached team. The goalie's great, so it's just he just reads the same thing. It's like same thing every
Yeah.
week. And then he said, he's like, we out like, as usual, we outwork,
shoot them.
outshot, out hit, and I'm
Yeah,
going.
what game are you watching?
I'm kind of going. I'm going. I'm not like I'm like I don't. And then he said, "Oh, we basically can't score." I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's right. What you said there, we can't. Like that's it. Like we cannot find the corners. Like we are really really put." But I'm
Don't out
going.
hit every
But
team.
I'm
Like
also
since
going like,
Mackay's came
what's
back,
he like? What? But what's he watching? Right? I don't know what he's watching in terms of like I don't know what you guys thought, but like, and you saw like on Twitter, like it's nice to see that validation. So thanks for. I mean, I feel
Yeah.
like you're going crazy. You go, maybe I don't understand the game well enough, and I'm just
See,
a big dum
see,
dum.
see how you're talking, like Colin, you're saying like you feel he micromanages uh, and that sort of stuff, but maybe he doesn't do enough. Like because how can you have intense like with no intensity? I says to you the other night. What
micromanagement's
I
a
says,
drain.
I know, but just let me finish. See, why we're going behind fucking 1-0, 2-0, 3-0 in the first 15, 10 minutes and umpteen many games, right? So there's no intensity, and you're 100% right in what you said earlier, Ross. I used to play like sevens in the league at the pits, and then we used to play our own game. Our own game was tougher than the Division One game because of the intensity of it. So when you went and played in the league, it was like you were ready to go sort of deal. So like if that's the way they're training, the way they're playing, which it'll be, that's what it'll be. But he can't be micromanaging. He just can't motivate them.
But the thing is, Phil, you said that there, he's saying that we outworked, out hit. I'm going
I know,
Coventry
but he's
were
just
all
talking
over.
shite.
But the
He's
thing is,
talking
still
shite.
that Coventry were like Manchester. You're going, Cody, like that just isn't
Aye.
true. Like
They
unless
were like Coventry were bottom feeders 3 weeks ago.
I know, I
Do you know
know.
what I mean? Like they're no Belfast, they're no Cardiff. It's destroying
Ooh.
the fans' hope like, that coming out with this same stuff in interviews. Just to switch gears a bit, like I'd said this, I don't know if I said it in the group chat or whatever, but I think I did. And it never worked out the way I was saying it, but see, like us playing these games on the Friday night, the Friday nights, like, see when these English teams are coming up and playing a triple header, we're getting them fresh every single time because we're fighting to get them on the Friday night because that's the night that the clan want to have their games.
I remember before we'd sometimes get them on a Saturday.
Yeah, or you
Saturday.
get them on the Sunday at the end when they're beat up. No, no, we're firing right in there. We want Cardiff on a Friday night. We want Sheffield. It worked out that time, and it has worked out. But like, these games could be much easier if we were playing them on a Sunday after they've played Fife, after they've played Dundee. That's how Fife went out and fricking destroyed Sheffield. Probably seven. What was it? 7-4 or 7-3 or something.
I'm like seven. We scored
Aye.
7 goals.
Like they wouldn't have done that to them on the Friday night. No chance.
You've got to look as well at right. See when Corey made a comment at the start of last year saying he was responsible for bringing in all the players and blah blah blah. So we were crying out for goals, and we were all everybody online was saying when are we making a signing? We hadn't replaced Mitchell Herd, and he signed Brady Risk. Now Brady Risk has come in and he has 2 points in 14 games, 2 goals in 14. Right. I'm sorry, that's not what you need when you actually look at that. you're
They were
thinking
good enough. There's a couple of things I want to talk about, and we will get to Twitter. We need to get some of the Twitter stuff because we're not gonna have time
Sure,
if we
but
don't.
what was that?
Sorry, Phil's off for a, I don't know.
Camden.
He's probably off for a shot or something. Um, but we obviously had a couple
You
of
shut that window there. If it's
That's
bloody.
fine. You caught there. There you go. It's hard, mate, isn't it? Regularly, I think that with that gorgeous sort of hoodie should be keeping you
He's
warm.
least line
But no,
time for the stands
but we
indeed.
obviously, I think Jarosik leaving. We have to talk about that briefly. It was again. I think we all said in terms of like expectation at the start of the season to production, he was one of the names top of. I feel like not just ours, but a lot of people's lips. It's clearly not worked out for some reason. Again, could be clearly coach doesn't feel he's producing for whatever reason. Maybe he's not happy playing the setup, so he's moved on. And then we also had the scenario. I think it was the Storm game, wasn't it? Where we iced the new import goalie.
Yeah.
So it's a couple of again, like in terms of look, Yarasik came in with again they drew all the you get all the tape and stuff like they show the videos and all that. Came in and looked like one of those guys. It was like looks like you're a bit of a fan favorite. He's not going to be like like hands like butter, but he's going to be a grafter and he's going to
Lightning Ball.
and it kind of looked like the start. You thought, okay, yeah, and it looked
Great
like that.
friendly. He was like a Terminator out there.
I and then it's just not work. So again, you're going through it. It's like, look, I know, look, the Mitchell Hurd thing is what it is, and I will go back to it though, right? And I'll go back to you've got Pelic and you've got Hayden, right? And you've got a lot of these guys, and you kind of go the common denominator is like, and like my concern there is like do I think Yanis will go off somewhere else and do well? Probably, right? Like a lot of these guys do, right? They'll go off and flourish somewhere else, right? So again, that comes back to this same question, and then this bringing in this netminder, and then we're going back to a bat for such a critical game, like. I mean, look,
Quick hit.
I feel like I've defended Breen. I think Breen's a good backup. Like I've said that. I think he is a good backup, and I think he can be used. But I mean, the difference is Sammy's so good. I think I understand why some people get a bit upset about it. But I'm like, you go and get this guy, and you don't play him. Like,
He's not got a lot of experience either, sadly. But I mean, the thing with Yarasek going as well, we've lost
Would
Herd
he?
and we lost Yarasek, right? Now, points wise was one thing, but we've also lost a lot of physicality. We don't have any bigger players. We don't have anybody that's laying hits. You've got Parry, and that's few and far between, and Mackay, right? But
but
out with
we
them,
out hit every team. Don't worry, Colin. We out hit every
I
team.
know, but that's what I'm saying. Like we have zero physicality now, and like that's one thing where I'm leaving. Now, granted, he never really done much, and he didn't look. He looked really like as if he wasn't enjoying it for a while. Like you could kind of tell by the look of him. But again, it comes down to he's only one of a few that could have went. You know what I mean? Like Roy essentially could have went. He's not really set the world on fire with points, and then you've got Parry could have gone. You've got look, there's a number of people you could have probably chopped for that setup. But yeah, but the big guy will probably go somewhere else and do well. You're right, but I just I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. The problem, well, to kind of if you look at it, we've added all these people and it has made zero difference. We are scoring no more goals. We are effectively going forward. We are null and different than we were at the start of the season. And essentially, our power play is still poor. It all points to coaching. It all has to point to coaching, sadly. And as much as you don't want to have like a swinging door with guys coming in and out, last year you gave him a free pass because he done X, Y, and Z. This year has been exactly the same. And if we finish seventh or eighth, we're marginally further forward than we were last year. And even then, like,
Not really.
not really. Aye.
Yeah,
So
not really. Given that Fife and Dundee have been so historically crap this year, like it's like
but they've turned it around. Look at Fife. They've got that boy Booth in, and he's what 41, 42, and he's got 9 points in 6 games. The
Yeah.
guy's like he might be old, but he's still firing. They got Lucic just came in, so they've got the fans back on side there, and they're playing from what I can see a pretty good brand of hockey, hard hitting, fast. So for us, I feel like everything is pointing to the coach, and do I think they'll bag him? No, I don't. But I don't think he'll see next year now.
We'll see. Phil, what do you make of those? The departure of Jarosik and the goalie be nice.
I was the one shouting for the rooftops, fan favourite. Can't wait to see more of him. And unfortunately, one half decent hit a game doesn't make you good enough to play for any team in this league, and that's really all we were getting at him. Maybe one hit a game, and I'm not saying they were massive, but that was his only input for me. He never assisted, he never scored. I know he got maybe one or two of each, but over the piece, I no good enough. Didn't bring anything new to the party. You'd have been as well just given somebody else's minutes, and that's what we've decided to do. I would like to think that we're only at the halfway point in the season. Uh, we're going to bring somebody in with a bit of grit about them. Like Colin had said, he thinks we've lost a bit of physicality. I don't think we've ever had physicality apart from those friendlies at the start. When it's came to league business, Mackay's the only one that's really stood up and been counted on that front. So yeah. And what was the second part of that?
Just the goalie be nice, like in
The
a big
goalie,
game.
I don't have a problem with that. I'll openly admit it. I'm not a Brian fan for being in the number one position. When we've got an import sitting there, I don't care how we don't even know how good or bad that boy is yet. Um, but like, Brian just no for me.
No for you.
Starting in these away arenas when you've got an import goalie there. Definitely no for me, but I know that I'll get a lot of blowback
But
get for saying
listen,
that.
mate, we're
But
all
that's just my opinion. Like,
that's it
I just don't
exactly.
think he's
Um,
fine for a backup.
yeah. Okay, I'm going to try and get this through some Twitter stuff again. There's no way I'm going to get to all this stuff. It's like it's madness. People are feeling it. I'll try and give everyone a shout out. So we Craig Somerville just talking about the really poor start in Manchester. Like you said, Phil, we've had quite a few of those. So and he asked about the new netty. So we've kind of covered that. Rob Massey. Good one from Rod here. What needs to change at Clan Towers for us to be seen as a serious hockey team? All they've achieved so far is sprinkle some glitter on a giant turd. 2018-19 was their last decent season with Pete Russell as head coach. A general malaise hangs around the club and major changes are required. And then the other thing we didn't mention, there is a positive. The games are still selling out. So, like, the arena, even though I think this is the point that a lot of I feel like a lot of people that comment and follow us and listen to us have been Clan fans for a period of time, love the game of ice hockey, want to see a winning team and a competitive team on the ice. And they're starting to see there's been that consistent theme in the comments of people saying, does the financial side of it maybe, and if the hockey side, it's we're getting bums on seats because we get enough casual fans. We got enough, between that and the diehards that will always go. Is there a bit of just kind of like, I don't know, like being a bit complacent as an ice hockey club? What do we think? I mean, I think the changes. Look, I think the good point,
For
Rob.
me, I'll say
Go.
it for
Yeah.
100%, mate. 100%. Totally neglected the team. It was there for all to see with all those injuries starting to pile up with no spare imports. Or did we have one spare import?
Help came in. He was a spare import.
Aye, but we never started the season with a spare import. Is that right?
No, I think he came in just before Mackay got injured. He
Yeah.
played as a forward, remember?
Yeah, but then we seen the injuries piling up, and then Mitchell Herd left, and they were hitting out week after week. We're looking, we're trying, yet everything else. We get absolutely shafted with that one. Um, and I said that the other week, like that is a part of the season. We'll look back and say, well, that's where we lost the plot. But the good thing is that I'm quite sure the Clangus jersey went for a fair few quid last week, so that's good. Hopefully they get plenty of money in for that.
There you go. Well, spicy. What about?
Plenty of folk in there,
Uh,
plenty of folk in there to buy them. So results are secondary at the moment. That's how it feels to the diehards.
yeah, and you think we've got a lot of, there's a rumor of Jerry becoming the GM, or director of hockey or something. We don't know if that's true. We've always had the new guy coming in to look kind of over the kind of commercial, like the looking like it was a COO. Is that his title? I can't remember now. Again, he's been anonymous to me. Like I don't know, maybe I've just missed it, but I feel he's pretty anonymous. The owner has been very quiet. Obviously Murph's still around. We've got Corey, you've got Mike Saran, we've got a number of coaches. It's back to that thing that Phil, I think you were saying it. I think somebody to say it. Somebody said we haven't even really moved forward since like Gareth was one of the most recent departures, and you think beyond that, right? With Neil Black being the owners, we haven't really. managed to push things forward. Again, yes, having the screens, like there's lots of stuff that we're not, and not being, the fans aren't being ungrateful here, right? In terms of game night experience, but a lot of fans feeling we've
Yeah.
got this
But
fantastic game night.
this is we're losing the whole. We're a hockey club first. We're an entertainment business second, mate. Like, and I feel like, I know you want to have both of them, but like, if people will eventually stop going if nobody wants to go and watch. I know I know that's not the case right now, but people get sick and tired of it. Newbies won't be there long. Do you know what I mean? If your team's getting beat continuously. And obviously your season ticket numbers will drop. Because the people that are going week in, week out, that are emotionally invested in it, they're not going to go and pay that money every year. And yeah, it will eventually just snowball and snowball. And we need to get the product on ice right.
Yeah.
And aye,
Okay. Rory McLeod just said the fact that every single season we run out of steam in December. He said the Sheffield game was great, need the consistency. Don't disagree.
yeah.
Lindsay asked about us, ice in the netty versus Storm. We covered that. Our good friend, Elite Opinion. Do you feel this forward group are playing to their capabilities and scoring enough goals? In my opinion, on paper, they should be scoring a lot more. Is Cody getting the best out of them? Colin, any thoughts on do you think in this forward group, like my inkling is, I actually do think we've got guys that are better than they're showing us. But do you think that, or do you think you think maybe he's gone for a type of forward that maybe isn't, maybe they're all a bit similar, or you don't really have people with that sniper or that skill set to really find the corners of the net, or just to know where the puck's going to be?
I think you've got potential there with guys like Tedesco and Langen we can see already, and Newman at one point was scoring goals, but I don't think they all complement one another. There was a line, it was at Newman, Langen, and Buck was the line at the start of the year that was really on fire. And then they started farting about it, and it's never been the same since. And for me, is there potential? Yeah, you probably could. I mean, if you go back to the time when Dyson took the team over, and he got a tune out the same group of players that were there prior to him taking over the team. So again, I think you can get a different tune out of any instrument. It's just how you play it. So it's the same with the players, and I think the I, I think we on paper we have a good team. But I can't remember, Ross. I think it was you at the start of the year was concerned about the style of coaching that we'd had last year, and you had felt that it was. And it's going to take me a while to see it, but the more I watch the games, you start to see more progressive. Even the guy in Coventry, the young guy, every team has made changes, like as in players out, players in. We only added because players were injured, right? Now, we've not actually changed anything per se. Like Mitchell Herd left, but they never officially replaced him. They just got somebody else in, which we assume was Brady Risk, right? Or it could be Tedesco, but either way, we haven't actually binned MD. And then, so, right, you're rubbish. We need to get somebody else in to complement this team and make it better. Belfast Giants made the changes and they've started climbing up. Nottingham made changes early doors and they were at the top of the league. I think we seem to have this. I think was it Murph said last year, we're not just going to get rid of players. We want a good vibe around this place and everything else. And you're thinking, I'm sorry, but we're in a results business. And if people aren't doing it, you need to either move them on or
That,
change it to suit.
that
Because
was a load of push. See that?
no,
That was a load
but
of push.
but see when you look at it, we haven't done the same this year either. So when you look
No,
at it, are they going to
no.
keep?
What my point is, you can't come out and say that
All
because
right, I
if you've got players that are utter shite, you don't just keep them because you want to
no,
keep the
but
reputation of the club.
I think we're at risk of having this good employer family feel. I mean, guys that win leagues, ruthless, ruthless, and they'll get people in that will make the team better and carry the team on. And I feel that we sometimes hold on to guys way too long, and we don't make the changes and strike when the iron's hot. But to go back to the question, yes, I do think on paper we could get more out of the guys up top. I just think it's a
Okay.
coaching issue.
Okay, we'll try and get some more. Good friend Fletch Thanks for contributing. Fletch says, do we have coaches that can teach them to not shoot at the logo of the goalie and pick some corners? I don't think we do. Or maybe we don't have players. That's the question, Fletch. Stephen Hill, 11 away defeats in a row, not including Fife and Dundee, pretty much guaranteed to be low scorers when Dundee played the games in hand, like we said. When will upper management address this? Couple of questions from him, and it was Simon McKee, Clanner, saying, like, Phil, do we said last time that Corey should and will see out the season. They're asking the question, saying zero improvement, scramble for eighth place. Like, I think I know your opinion, Phil. If you are the owner of this club, does Corey see the season out?
Right. Who sent that question in?
So we had two people. So we had Stephen Hill was asking about changing the coach, and then Simon McKee as well.
Funnily enough, Stephen and Simon.
Yes,
I've got
He
this up
goes.
here earlier, right?
here we go.
So after the weekend, I was just getting Malcolm Cameron vibes. That's exactly what I was getting, right? So I went on to Chat GPT today, and I was just wondering what the win percentages of current and past coaches since what well, I went back to Ryan Finnerty, but I'll miss him out just for uh, recency. Okay,
More
so
amazed you know how to use ChatGPT,
this
Phil.
is just percentage wins
Yeah,
with
who's got win percentage
by
as a
one
coach? Yeah.
percentage. So we had Pete Russell at 55.8% win rate. Uh,
Finished fourth that year.
aye, Finnerty was 51.9, right? Malcolm Cameron was third at 42.6 in his first full season.
Mhm.
Nielsen at the moment is 40%, and Jason Morgan was 35.9. Now, we bagged Ryan Finnerty at 51.9 because it wasn't good enough back then.
A couple of seasons, wasn't
Aye, well, that was his last season, though,
it?
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So we bagged him for that. And Corey is on course for a 40% win percentage this season. What we need to get our expectation level up where it was all the years ago, because now we're like, oh, I don't know, should we keep 40%? No, no, you can't keep somebody at 40%. It's insane. What John Trapp was better than him. John fucking Trapp. Well, how can John Trapp get chased out the door? Chased
Yeah.
out the door, and yet we're now like we don't know if some of us are still undecided or not, but it's a really good game night experience and all that sort of stuff. It's insane. Like we can't continue with this. We can't continue with this. Like
You get rid of him.
I'd have bagged them like before the Sheffield game. Because it was
Um,
another shite
Belfast
weekend.
Giants.
It was another shite weekend before that, was it not?
Well, Belfast Giants are 79.3% win rate. That's what, so see
Yeah.
if you, when you
So,
look at
so
Coventry Blaze,
78. So we're winning half the amount of games that they're winning.
Coventry are 46.8.
Half the amount of games. It's madness. Mental.
yeah. So what was
Fair
John
Phil.
Tripp's? What was John Tripp's win percentage?
John John Tripp was 42.9. So he was better.
That's mental.
I was obviously trying to get Dyson's right, but I only gave you the win percentage for the season.
Yeah.
They couldn't divide it up, but that season was
Leicester are 62.
that season I'm sure was I think it was 28 or 29%. But you need to remember we lost the first 16 games of that season.
Yeah. That's
So
mental, isn't it?
You'd be
Okay.
winning 65 to 70% to be in the top four. 65 and above. Manchester at 62, and they're sitting at fifth.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nowhere near. It's nowhere near
Well,
good
our
enough.
win percentage
they
essentially
chased
this
Ryan
year.
Finnerty out for 51%. Just remember that. Chased
Aye.
him away. Not good enough.
Okay.
Well done, Phil. I like that.
Yeah, I like Josh Hewitt. He's a man after my own heart. He was like, wonder what the excuse will be this weekend. Coventry are excellent. Returning players need time. He was talking about Fife actually turning the corner as well. Yes, he was just saying, yeah, it's signing. This is a good point from Josh as well. He said, um, it needs a reset and restart. He's signing Sidorov and Saigo, who will be 36, playing loads of minutes. Tells us Nielsen's back for, next season. For me, it's the wrong. Again, I don't disagree in
Said
terms of
that.
like,
I said that in the chat. That gives me
I
yeah,
think
the
that
yeah,
I don't think that says anything. I mean, look at all the players that we'd signed for last year, and he got rid of them when he came in. So remember, he came in and we had re-signed Hayden, Pelic. We had signed the other wee guy that used to be at Dundee, and he pretty much
You
bagged
see,
them all
see
when he came
that,
in.
Colin? That it's things like that that don't make you look good to people
I
possibly
think a lot of other
wanting.
teams do it. They just don't.
yeah.
They don't shout about it. The reason Clan are shouting about it just now, in my opinion, is
It's,
because things are so
but
bad.
do you
They're trying
understand
to
the
get plans
difference in
on.
what I'm saying is like you're offering these guys contracts and then they're signing it and then you're going, do you know what, we're rethinking this and you're actually no welcome
Yeah.
anymore. But
But
like,
We got one from Wayne here. Keen to know our thoughts on the fact we're probably having Jerry as a GM. Also thoughts on Russ's job so far. We've gone backwards since Gareth left. I think the Jerry thing. We covered that last time. Wayne, yeah. I think everyone thinks Jerry would do like everyone likes Jerry. He would do his best and do a decent job at anything. It's more about the question around Murph, Jerry, Corey. It's like how does it all like
what's
to
the
me?
dynamic?
Yeah, what's it is more important, and obviously Russ. That again, he's been anonymous. I think like at least Gareth was about, and more of us. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I just think he's been completely anonymous. John has a good one here. Well, yes. This is I like this one. This is a hot take from John. I know this is absolutely going to upset some people. We're going to do it anyway. Um, how about the apathy setting in amongst a lot of the fans? Are the powers that be guilty of turning us into a professional cow show with some hockey attached instead of professional hockey team with some cow show attached? It's not a reflection on Clangus, by the way. She's awesome. So he did cover that. We all love Clangus, but I love a hot take. It gets things a bit juicy and spicy. I think this is what we've been alluding to. So I think to be fair, we probably covered that right in terms of maybe not the Clangus element, but it is all about the game night, and they do a great job of that, and they've made huge improvements. But the team, again, I would argue the team's going backwards because we know we've got more focus, investment in terms of coaching players, like, but yeah, we're not moving forward. It's not like we're saying, oh, Dundee and Fife all of a sudden are pretty good, and Coventry are like, up there with the top five. That's not what's happening in the league. Like, I would argue this season, none of the big boys are that good. Like that's what's showing up. This Belfast were a mile behind. They're now top of the league.
yeah.
This was a season that there was an opportunity. I think none of them, like, there's not one of those teams that I've seen that season. Sheffield were just electric. Belfast have been. You go, they're going to win it. It's clear they're the best team. None of the teams, the big teams this year, to me. So I think there's a huge missed opportunity, like you said, Phil, that we will look back on. Obi Clan Kenobi says, "Oh, he needs sacked tomorrow. Sack all the upper management staff. The club rotten to the core." Um, yeah,
Be
Craig
fair, like,
Gallagher.
do you
Yeah,
think Corey? Like, I was thinking about this. See, when like you saying there about sack them all and sack this, right? Now, do you think Corey's just lost his contacts now? Like he's at that age, and I'm not being ageist before anybody else jumps in on me here, right? But do you think he's now at that level where the contacts that he had before when he was successful at his first spell have just totally gone? And the reason that Paul Thompson's doing so well at Cardiff is because they've got a network within them that they go to. Because there's just something for me that doesn't add up, and there's one of those ones that do we think we'll see the back of him? No, no, I don't think he'll see next season. But what we'd expect or what we would hope for if they bag him now, do they get someone in that then can understand the league a little bit and then get to like, have a free run at it until the end of the year and then build for next year?
that was Dyson. That was we should have gone with Dyson. That was exactly the argument that Phil and I presented for Dyson being coach. I'm
Mm.
pretty sure it was like do
I
that at
don't
that
think.
point.
Aye, you're right.
Yeah, but I think
I
like,
don't, I
do
don't
you
think
think
it's
there's
to
a
do with his.
possibility of that?
I don't think
Maybe
it's to do with his age, mate. I just
no.
don't think he's. I think there's better coaches, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like tactically, like things, especially in hockey, the hockey game's moved on a lot
It's,
since Corey was a
mate,
player. And
every single sport has moved on. All these
aye,
fresh ideas, coupled with all the old information they're getting, they find new ways of doing it, and it's more
look at the guys
efficient,
that are, look at
better.
the top five. If you take Paul Thompson out of the equation, right? But if you look at Keith at Belfast, you've got Danny Stewart, who I couldn't stand as a player, but he seems to be doing really well now. You've got the young guy, is it Kritschko, that's the coach at Manchester, a young guy as well. All
Colin,
the
Colin,
guys.
I've said this for years. I've said this for years. I said that's the pattern. This is why Phil and I were so hot and Dyson at the time. It was like, this is the pattern of success. This seems to be what works, right? Now, look, the Pete Russell thing, though. So there's more than one way to skin a cat. Look, at the end of the day, it's not nothing to do with his age. To your point, but look, Cody lives and breathes hockey. You can see that. Like, you can't criticize him for that. He lives and breathes it. It's just a matter of, to me, part of it is players are different now. Like the way that these young like generations change, and it's like, can you connect to your point, Phil, and tap in to motivate? That is what the really, really good coaches do. I think it is easier. If you're too far away in generations, it takes somebody to be a bit more special because it's like you've got to be able to make those connections and go. You know, when you look at like Martin Neal at Celtic just now, like how's he
They're
doing
more
what he's doing? It's hard.
man management. Man
Yes,
managers, the older gen.
correct.
Whereas
You know, make him like the GM then, like punt him up the stairs and get somebody in who's
No,
young
what?
and
But that's rewarding media. Like that's rewarding poor
oh yeah,
performance. Like, listen, I'm going to get to the final ones now before we're out of time. Eddie Saltz, I'm going positive. Called out the huge performances for Sheffield and Cardiff. Like, why do we lack consistency? Should we shorten the bench? No, it's just it's. I think everyone feels it's a coaching problem. Like, I don't know how many other times you can overanalyze this. And a couple of other ones here. So actually, I'll go to another one from Eddie, which I like this one here, and then we'll get Raymond's one. He said, "Here's mine for the cast. This isn't about forward or goalie or D. It's about combined lack of effort. And this is where I'm like, I'm glad somebody else sees what I see. Coventry were relentless. We shot from the outside, made bad passes, and awful predictable exits. This is about leadership on the ice. There is none. We don't have a leader. I couldn't agree more, Eddie. That's what I see when I watch our team most nights. I don't see us out fighting, outworking, and doing all those things. That is what I see more
losing
often than
battles all over
yeah,
the ice all the
and
time.
Coventry are playing that team like again. I think there's been too many times knotting them up at Braehead Arena before Christmas. Just urgency, like attitude. Like I think you're spot on there.
see
Um,
the players coming back, the four players coming back there. Was it three or four we got back in?
we got
Uh,
McKay, we got
Yeah.
Roy.
Well, I do feel there was a bit of that's us back to full strength. We'll be all right, but nobody was still taking responsibility. They're all leaving it up to each other, thinking, "Oh, we've got a full roster that we'll get the job done." It doesn't
Yeah,
work like that, especially in ice hockey. There is only like 5 years out there. Do you know what I mean? Like everybody needs to put in 110% every minute they're on that ice, especially in this league now. And like I like Sidorov, I like him, but I don't think he motivates. He's a good player, but I don't think clearly it doesn't motivate the guys round about him enough. I'm not saying it doesn't motivate them at all. It doesn't motivate them enough to get the job done in this league. Would I have him back? Yes. Would I make him captain? No.
okay. Um, Raymond, we'll finish on Raymond's one. That we'll have a quick look ahead to the games and then wrap up. He said, Corey Nielsen, what do you think should happen versus what you think will realistically happen? He said, after the weekend, fifth looks a long distance away, which would make it 7 years since Clan had a top half finish. I think we're all, Phil, you're Corey out. I think you don't believe that will happen, but that's what you think should happen. The last time we spoke, I was very much he should get to the end of the season. I thought there could be a turnaround. I'm probably still going to say, like,
Ross, see
if,
if we answer that. We're only halfway through the season.
I know.
So we've still got a full half a season.
So that's my point. I think the next like you say, a lot of the excuses have gone. Like he's at least.
See unless you feel that he is going to get us out this hole, then there is only one answer you can have.
I don't disagree. And look, do I believe he will? No. Do,
Right?
do,
So
I know,
you
but,
can't.
like,
That's
I
like
think and
turkeys
somebody
voting for
else.
Christmas. Do
It
you know
is.
what
I
I
think
mean?
somebody else, Stephen Allen, did say about Mike Surratt. That is the move I could see in terms of like maybe that would be the only answer, right? Is like you give it to Mike Surratt and see what he could do. But I do think that there was just there's the reason I say it, Phil. There was that period after Mitchell Hurd left. You remember where it looked like things were clicking,
Yeah.
and I just think well if it happened there, I just my worry I just don't know if he knows the way back to that, and I don't know whether that was just a circumstantial thing. But yes, I mean, ultimately, do I think Cody's a guy? I've never believed he was the guy. So I would always say I don't think he's would not be my pick and that's down to also a little bit of preference in terms of style of hockey and the type of coach that I would want. Um, but yes, but I don't think he will definitely get the season
He
is
will.
what I think will happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a quick look ahead to our upcoming fixtures, shall we? So we have good news. We're at home on Friday against the Blaze, so chance and really need some, a revenge game there. And then we do go travel to Dundee on Sunday. Again, Dundee team that are I think now bottom of the league and have been
Mm.
certainly struggling. Um, so yeah, and then we welcome Nottingham on the Wednesday, 28th, and then I think it's Guildford at home, and we'll not worry about beyond that. But again, the Dundee game looks like the reprieve. I mean, really, it's the next two games, boys. The Nottingham home game, a little bit of a free hit at home against Guildford again. That's a big game. Um, and again, so like three big home games again away to Dundee. Like, do you not just feel like it feels like you've got to win? You've got to beat the Blaze. You've got to go to Dundee and win, and then probably take. You got to probably beat Guildford as well. You got to take something from the Guildford game, right? The Nottingham one I think is a free hit.
I think if you lose against Coventry on Friday, then I really do worry because then they'll jump two ahead of us, and then we are chasing, and we've dropped from fifth to
I know.
eighth.
I know.
And for me, we're in free fall at the moment. Now, the Nottingham game will probably be the one that we'll think will be all right, and then we'll pull off a result there, right? But it just seems to be. I mean, Dundee are due to beat somebody at some point. Kind of way, I just hope it's not us.
Don't say it,
But,
God.
but it's hard to be confident in the moment because I'm not seeing anything that allows me to be positive towards how we can get a result. Because like Coventry, Manchester come up here and beat us comfortably, and I can see Coventry doing the same thing.
Coventry aren't as good as Manchester.
They're not. But listen, let's
No,
just
they're not, but they're better than us.
let's just hope that they're not well coached, that their goalie's not played
50's better
well.
than us, mate.
Yeah, let's just hope they're not well coached and the goalie doesn't play well. But the Coventry game is what. See, to be honest, that's a game where Corey's just got to go. I don't really care how it looks. You've got to get a win. It doesn't matter
Yeah,
how ugly it's got to be. Look, if they're in a better spot than we are, and you know that, and you know the matchup's not good, you got to change things up and go find a different way to win that game. You got to win that game. You got to win the Dundee game.
yeah.
And then again, look, that you set us up into the Nottingham game. You kind of go, Wednesday night, and then get two home games. Guildford, you got to win one of those two games, right? You got to be good at home. Like again, look at our record. We talked about it. It was flagged on Twitter. Apart from the Scottish teams, we're 11 straight losses, I think, on the road, right? And the Cardiff game is probably the only real beacon of hope that we actually played really well in that game and probably should have got something in that stretch. Um, so yeah, I mean, so yeah, to me, it's a minimum of 5 points, minimum.
I think we'll beat Coventry. Um, I think we should beat Dundee. And what's the next one in order?
Panthers at home Wednesday night.
I
A
think we
week,
could
a week,
take something for that. See, at home, we're a different team at
and
home.
then Guildford at home. So it's like a
Yeah,
good stretch.
I mean,
You need to
yeah,
stop drinking that beer on these chat nights.
But the thing
And
is,
you're
thing
going
is,
to
though,
win these four
it's my
thing is,
games.
though,
first
Colin,
one.
again,
It's
this is
my
my
first
point.
one.
This is my point about Cody though, Phil. It's like these home games. You go look, yeah, at home we could like you go like if we beat Coventry, beat Guildford and Dundee, even if we don't get anything from Nottingham, like that changes. Like again, you're
Yeah,
right back in the mix. But it's like
changes
yeah,
mind.
it
I
does.
mean, it pulls they two closer to us. Like
Yeah,
these are 4 pointers. These two games. I,
huge.
I think we'll beat Coventry. I do. I think we'll beat them on Friday. Um, the other ones like Dundee, we should beat Dundee. I don't think they're due to beat MD. See when Fife's taking 5-6 off you, like I think we'll win the two.
Fife have outscored us, remember?
I'm going to put my neck out in the line. I think we'll beat both of them, and then Guildford. Sorry, Nottingham at home on the Wednesday. Nah, I think that'll be a narrow loss, and then the Guildford is back at home. So, aye, right. So that's a lot of home games coming up, yeah.
Three out of four is home.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is
four.
good. So
Guildford, I don't think they're that good either. Well, I think we can beat them at home. I want 6 points for that.
Aye, me too. I want minimum of five, but I want six. Yeah,
Yeah.
minimum. It has to be five minimum. Yeah. Well, look. Speaking of Guildford, we do have a little teaser. We're going to finish up here. We do have a. We are going to do a little cheeky episode a week today. And we have a little bit. Yeah. So Dean reached out from the heated take, which is the Flames podcast. We're going to do, which is quite cool because the week of that game. So we're going to do a bit more of an in-depth preview of that game. And I think it's always good as well to get perspective of other fans in terms of like we obviously are just very clan focused. We do talk about the league as well. We see other teams, but you're interested to see how other teams, Guildford being right there in it with us, to see what they make of the clan situation, how the clan are perceived from, because we talk about these teams in certain ways, right? And it'd just be interesting. We're going to do an episode with Dean from the heated take and have a little bit of a takeover of that. So we're looking forward to doing that. So as much as Chris has left a gap, we're going to plug it next week with a guest. So we're going to do that with Dean. So something to look forward to. We'll get the Twitter stuff out. So if there's anything you want to ask, you can get your questions in as usual. But yeah, look, it's Monday. We're going to get this. Will be Tuesday by the time I get this out to you. Also, not too many sleeps before we have a home game, which is always nice. And the good thing is an away game that's easy to go and watch. Right, Dundee's not too far away. And then two other home games. So lots of hockey to see live and in the flesh. And let's hope that the clan find a way, and that as much as it's been a little bit doom and gloom and things don't seem great, a week can make a huge difference, boys. So let's hope that's the case. We'll see what happens. But yeah, thanks to everyone for listening, and I'm on the clan.